It's the second leg of the Europa League. I can't even be bothered. We're 2-0 down against Liverpool and with Abdullah and Howson outside Old Trafford. Guys, can we overturn that 2-0 deficit? How do we do it?
To do it, we're going to have to do something that we've done maybe, twice this season, and just throw caution to the wind and absolutely go for it. The difficulty that we've got is Klopp has said in the first 10 minutes he's going to score a goal and put the tie to bed, which I think they are more than capable of doing. The only way we can do it is to be dynamic, brave, ruthless and clinical, and yet while we can do it, the chances of us doing it are very slim.
Do you remember at the start of the season when we were playing this boring sort of possession-style football, sort of like what we've been seeing again recently? And then we went through a period where we actually played attacking football, but conceded like a ridiculous amount of goals. Can you see that happening in this game, us absolutely going for it, and then our defence being exposed?
That's what I think about the game. I think that our players will go for it because the fans will be up for it. And they'll get the players to go for it, but it's just the defence. You never know. You're going to throw everyone up there. You're going to try get an early goal. As soon as they got that goal, the confidence is gone and the game's just gone. So I'm not really confident, I would say, about Thursday night. But hopefully we'll get an early start, try keep a clean sheet and get that second goal.
Ryan Giggs has said that if we are still in the tie, that's a massive if, but with 30 minutes to go, that the fans will take us over the line. Do you think the fans will play a big part?
I don't think the fans will be allowed on the pitch to have any sort of impact in a game whatsoever. I reckon he'd be thrown out of UEFA for doing that. No, I don't think he's... If we are still in the tie with 30 minutes to go, what we're looking at there, we're looking at...
Say if it's 1-0.
1-0 United with 30 minutes to go. It's going to be loud. It definitely is going to be loud. It's going to start off very loud. And as much as I can be hopeful, what I think is going to happen is Liverpool will score and everyone will just be like...
Yeah. I kind of get the feeling as the exact same feeling, mate. And we've got a huge game, obviously, this weekend as well against Man City. Have you given up the hope for Thursday night against Liverpool, and would you actually rest players on Sunday?
I think the one thing I won't do is what we did with West Brom. We rested players, we lost West Brom, and then we lost Liverpool.
Oh.
So we didn't come out with anything. And loads of people were like, oh no, it's just resting players. Mate, the top four was wide open last week against West Brom. And it's just gone now because I don't think it's really gone. But then you got West Ham, who are on great form, got players like Payet, who can't stop scoring. And then you got City, who you just don't know what are going to do. They're on bad form, but they got players like Aguero, Torre. They can change games. I don't know what player we have that can change game for us and get us top four.
It's sort of like now two massively unlikely situations where if we beat Liverpool, will we go on to win the Europa League, and could we get top four if we beat City this weekend? It's an hard question, but would you rather win 3-0 on Thursday against Liverpool or win 1-0 against City?
See, you're offering me two things that aren't on offer, mate. So,
did you not think that either of them could happen? I feel like if we rested players against Liverpool, would you actually want to see us rest players for the weekend?
No, like Abdullah just said, mate, if we rest players, we can have another West Brom situation on our hands. I wouldn't want to see us rest players because if United lose like 4-5-0 here, which was very possible against Liverpool, people are going to riot in here if we lose 5-0. And they won't even care who's in the team. And you could say, oh, well, what if we put youth in and the crowd will be behind them? No, because the final score, if it's a lot to not a lot in favour of Liverpool, people are going to quite rightly see their arse with it. So I'm always a believer in when you start playing well, you can get momentum behind you. And if we can, unlikely, even if we just put a bit of fight up here on Thursday before eventually going out, if we win 1-0 or 2-1 and go out, not asked. And let's move it into the City game. I've said all along, haven't I, that I didn't think the Europa League was a realistic target for us. You've got so much luck, and can we be consistent in 2 games on the bounce to take us through? And I didn't see us doing that. But I think top 4 is still realistic for us because we're
only 4 points behind, I guess, but our form is so inconsistent.
It's not us that need to. It's not our good form that's going to put us in there. It's the fact everybody else is having terrible form. Arsenal are in terrible form and they're in danger of coming out. City are in terrible form. They're in danger of coming out. Yes, you're right about West Ham. They could potentially nip in there. We could nip in there. All we're going to have to do is someone's going to have to put 3 or 4 games together, and it doesn't even have to be in the same week block, you know what I mean? A few games of wins and you're going to be right in the mix. The only 2 teams that are secure in the top 4, I think, are Tottenham and Leicester.
Yeah.
The other 2 could be replaced by 5th and 6th, which is us and West Ham. It could happen. It's unlikely, but it could definitely happen. And the City's form at the moment is worse than ours over the last 3 months. And it's only getting worse with everything that's going on with their manager and all the rest of it. So let's see what happens.
I sort of get this horrible feeling it's going to be a bit like the end of Moyes' era, where he got thrashed by Liverpool and then got thrashed by City, or the other way around. But I just remember that being like the lowest I've felt as a United fan. Could very well be the feeling at the end of this week. Hope it's not. Abdullah, what would your starting 11 be for the Liverpool game?
I'll go De Gea obviously in net. Standard Smalling and Blind. You can't really take Blind out, even though he's been a bit iffy the last few games, but he's a very important player because he can get the ball up there. He's got decent passing.
There's no one else.
Yeah, there's no one. Honestly, I'd go Fosu if we weren't under that much pressure, but I'll just.
He can't play or something.
All right, fair enough then. I'd go Rojo left back, right back Varela. Holding midfielders, I'll go Schweinsteiger, Schneiderlin. Just get Fellaini out there.
It's got to be, Anna. It's got to be Schweinsteiger and Schneiderlin.
I say this honestly, mate. Since when have we been saying this? Since January, drop Fellaini, and it's just not Fellaini, mate. It's Van Gaal. Just drop the player.
And they complement each other as well, though, Schweinsteiger and Schneiderlin. I know that he's been injured for a while, but why Schneiderlin doesn't play so often? He can play 2 games in a week, can't he?
What I was saying before was that with Schneiderlin, when he has Herrera next to him, he's only got one job, and that is to literally just clean up in the midfield and help the defence out. And then he doesn't have to bring the ball out. Watching the Liverpool game away, Fellaini couldn't get the ball out from the midfield. That's the job that Herrera can do. So what Schneiderlin's trying to do is trying to get the ball out, and then he's got to try to do defensive job. So having Schweinsteiger and Herrera with him, Schneiderlin, it would just shore him up. All he's got to do is clean up the midfield, help the defence out, and then it's just a standard job in midfield. For the left wingers, I'd go Memphis, Rashford and Martial. Just them 3, wherever you put them. Just pace. We've got to try counter-attack them if they come at us with that sort of pace. But I drop Mata because I think we just need like a front 3 of just like trying to counter-attack them if they come at us, and then just try and not get them scoring a goal.
So you've got Memphis on the left, Rashford on the right, Martial up front. Who's going to play?
I'd say rotating, and the whole just behind them, Herrera. And then Schweinsteiger just coming forward a bit as well.
Thought you'd say that. What's your 11, mate?
Very, very, very similar to Abdullah's actually, and I think it's because we were talking about it before when we was down there. Obviously,
not having there.
Spanish Dave in net, but the difference that I'm going to go with is I'm going to go for Riley at left back, and I'm going to go Varela at right back for energy, and the aggression. And I'm going to go for Rojo alongside Smalling in defence because Blind needs a rest. He's out on his feet at the moment. I think this sort of match requires aggression, and I think you get aggression with Smalling, you get aggression with Varela, you get aggression with Rojo, and you get aggression with Riley. And I think that's...
red card waiting to happen, that back
four. Mate? We need a bit of fight. Let's have a bit of fight. And then in midfield, you've got to go for the midfield. You've got to go Schneiderlin and Schweinsteiger.
You won't, but you've got to.
Yeah, you won't. I don't want to see Fellaini anywhere near this team. Is that stat correct? Someone tell us in the comments that. Is that stat correct about how many games we lose and win when Fellaini's in the team?
I would very much believe it.
Yeah. That shows you everything you need. Abdullah's mentioned it. Like when Schneiderlin's in midfield, and when we saw Carrick against West Ham, he didn't have the legs to play like as a 1. And Schweinsteiger will do both. He's not really box to box because he's not got them legs no more, but he is. He's kind of box to box. He does get forward, and he also does the cleaning up. And he's a leader, and we need a leader. We really need a leader. Someone who's going to point, someone who's going to tell, someone's going to say, calm down when you need to calm down, and G them up when they need to be G'd up. I would go for Herrera over Mata, the same as Abdullah has. And the reasons for that, I think, again, aggression. I think Herrera's got a nasty side to him, and I think he understands the level of the game. And I would just want Herrera in because when everything's going right for you, there's no one better than Mata, is there?
No.
When everything's going nice, Mata's going to put a team to the sword. But when you've got to dig in and fight, I don't think he's that kind of player. So Herrera gets the number 10 shirt for me. And then the forward 3, the same as Abdullah, Rashford, Martial and Memphis. And I'm not giving any specific positions. I would just say, you 3, find us a goal. Get on the pitch, mix it up, find us a goal. I like seeing Memphis on the right with his right foot. I like seeing Martial in the middle. I like seeing Rashford in the middle. Let's just cause a bit of chaos because we can get at these.
I know it's already been proven in the first leg who we have to worry about, but are there any players in specific that you'd choose in Liverpool's team that we really have to be concerned about Old Trafford?
What I said last time, mate, I think Sturridge, if he's on form, is a nightmare. Firmino and Coutinho have got the ability, if they turn up, to end the tie in the first 5 minutes. What happened in the last tie was they pressed us so high and so hard, And normally we're not used to that. Normally we've struggled breaking teams down because teams come and sit and we struggle. And I thought what would happen is Liverpool would come for us, which happened, and we would find space and we would get a goal. I mean, the away goal would have been enormous for us, wouldn't it? But what happened is they pushed us so hard and so high, they cut off the midfield and they cut off the supply to our forward line. And when you've got Fellaini trying to do that supply, it doesn't get there. Yeah. So I think if we make the changes that we want to see and Fellaini's gone, I think you will see a lot of goals in a game. And I think you can get a Moreno, and I think Henderson bottles it a little bit in the massive games. So I would try and put pressure on both of those two guys. And if we can do that, we're thinking that we have to win 3-0. We don't. We have to win 2-0 to take it to the crazy stage of the extra time and penalties. And you can't really mitigate for that, because if it's 2-0 and they score in the end, it's game over, innit? What we can't do is concede in the first half. Yeah. We need to score and not concede in the first half to have any sort of chance. Or we have to concede in the first minute and know that we've got to just go for it for the entire game. And maybe that'd be the best game that we could have. Maybe we literally concede in the first minute and then the crowd goes, let's have it. Yeah. And if we see a response on the pitch, we could have a brilliant game. Very similar circumstances to Roma 2007.
Of course. Abdullah, what's your prediction for the score on Thursday?
I don't want to say this because I think Liverpool will score. I think they really will. Especially if you've got players like Fellaini who are playing who just can't track back and he can't get forward. So I go 3-1 United.
What's your score?
I was just going to say, I think we'll score and I think they'll score. And I think we'll still go out and 3-1, 2-1. Yeah, 3. That's what I think, mate.
I tell you what my prediction was.
That's what I think.
This is genuinely what I was going to say before we come on. I think we'll play all right, to be honest, and I think we'll win 3-1. Obviously, go out the tie, and Louis van Gaal will come out after and say, "Oh, well, we put in a really good performance. We were out on away goals. How unlucky are we?" I can just see it happening. Guys, get your comments in below. What score do you think it's going to be? Tell us about everything that we've spoken about today, whether you agree with us or disagree with us. Give us a like, give us a share. I'm Gaz, Abdullah, Howson, in a bit.
On Thursday night, it was 100 mile an hour, and at Anfield, in a European night, you've got to be at them. From the first whistle, hit them hard and take them out.